for the first time in Canada, KTEL presents Breakdance, an awesome album, or a fantastic video. You get one full side of easy breakdance instructional rap.
All right on. Let's get on with the fun. Let's break dance together to the break of dawn.
For the first time ever, a complete breakdance package.
Welcome to episode 30 of my record review show, What Am I Listening To and Why? Episode 30, who would have thought we'd ever come this far, but we have. If you've been a regular viewer, then thank you very much for sticking with it. So what are we going to do? We're going to look at the last 6 records that I've been listening to and give them a quick review and a mark out of 10. But you know that already! Record number 1 is Special AKA in the Studio. Now, this was the Specials' kind of third album, and because it's kind of the Specials, but not really. It's only Jerry Dammers and John Bradbury, the drummer from the original band, that feature on this album. I was crazy about the Specials. I would say that the first Specials album, Specials, it's pretty much the Nevermind the Bollocks of 70s ska as far as I'm concerned. I fucking loved it. More Specials. I liked it. I wouldn't say I was crazy about it. It's still a good record. But it, you know, I'll be honest, it's not as good as the first one. And this really is the difficult kind of third album that's, well, they call it Special AKA, but yeah, difficult kind of third album. And I'll be brutally frank, when I first put this on, when it came out in, 1984, I remember being horribly disappointed. On every level, it did not kind of, it didn't please me. I just couldn't get with it. I found it a bit too dark. I found the songs not to be catchy. I just found kind of everything about it kind of glum, and I didn't enjoy it at all. But that's different then, because I was, well, I don't know, 19 or 20 when this came out, and I'm now a little bit older than that, so that kind of changes everything. This album cost a fortune to make, and like all albums that cost a fortune to make and take over 2 years to do, how can it be any good if it's like that? I mean, that might be unfair, but it's what a Chinese democracy syndrome. Yeah, this cost a fortune and it went on for years and years and years, and I would say it fucking disappointed everybody, but maybe that's going too far. Elvis Costello's producing it, and again, and you know, it's fine. It sounds good. It's got a fucking amazing sleeve. I would buy this record for the sleeve. I'm telling you, I absolutely adore the cover of this record. And when I'm playing it, I always sit with it on my lap because it thrills me because it looks so good. Hearing it now, I like it a lot better now than I used to like it. These are songs obviously written by adults. If that makes any sense. It's not there's nothing wrong with that, we love it, but this is what Jerry Dammers is trying to do, is make a much more adult product, and he's totally succeeded, and that's probably why me and the kids kind of didn't really get it. I like most of the tracks on here. I wouldn't say I was absolutely fucking crazy about them. Racist Friend, What I Like Most About You Is Your Girlfriend, is a very witty, kind of funny song. What happened to Jerry Dammers? Where the fuck is he? I mean, the guy's a fucking legend. Came out, did two-tone, seemed to get as far as this, and then just disappeared. I don't know what he does. I don't know how he earns his money. It's none of my fucking business. He just seemed to have his little window of genius and then disappear. And maybe that's what everyone should do. Do your fucking great work, then fuck off. That's a bit mean. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give Special AKA in the Studio. It was disappointing at the time, and it is a bit glim? It is a bit glum and based in the minor register, a bit too much for me, but I'm still going to say it's a really good record, and I'm going to give it 6. Record number 2 is the Alabama 3 with their 13th, count 'em, 13th album. I've forgotten what it's called. Step 13. Yeah, there you go. This came out in 2021, so it's quite a late Alabama 3 record. If you don't know about anything about Alabama 3, you probably know this. They had the theme for The Sopranos. I feel like such a bore bringing that up, but that woke up this morning. That was Alabama 3, and they've had lots of other music in films. But I really kind of like this band. They were originally called the First Presbyterian Church of Elvis the Divine, which I think is a great name. But I can understand why they changed it, because it doesn't exactly fucking roll off the tongue. I got into them in the kind of late 90s with the first LP, Exile on Main Street, which is not Exile on Main Street, that's the fucking Stones. Exile on Cold Harbour Lane, which is an absolutely fantastic record. I urge you, if you've not heard that, really go out and get that one. If you can, they want about fucking 4 million quid to get it on vinyl, otherwise I'd have it. They are a fucking great live band. I've seen them 3 or 4 times, and they never fail to thrill. The show is always great, and the bass fucking... Now they do a kind of genre of music that they created called country acid house, country acid blues music kind of thing. It's a mishmash of sort of acid house, not really, but that's what they call it. You know, sort of kind of moderny beats and all that kind of thing mixed with bluesy sort of stuff. It's not bluesy at all, though. It's always druggy and sleazy and fat beats and grooves and all that kind of thing. And this album, when you put it on, you go boom, and it starts doing that immediately, and you think, oh well, it's business as usual. And you know, I was a little bit disappointed that it was business as usual, because kind of heard that to death a little bit. It kind of does all that on the first side, but the second side, it leans a lot more into the kind of country side of thing, and the songs slow down. There's a lot of pedal steel going on, and that's it. I mean, honestly, side 2 of this is fucking great. The characters that front the band, well, there's Larry Love. That's Rob Spragg. He's got a growly voice, and up until recently, they had the Reverend D. Wayne Love, who was kind of played by Jake Black, but unfortunately he's passed away, so he is not on this record. And I don't want to say like, oh, we don't miss him. We do miss him, but the records are just as good. Yeah, brilliant track, Somebody Somewhere, which mentions D. Wayne Love, and I think it might be about him, but I don't want to say. But it's a very, very touching song. After the initial bombast and the boom, boom, boom of the early tracks, you know, it gets into some lovely, lovely atmospheric stuff that if you like me, you enjoy that, you're going to really like it. If you're a fan, you will not be disappointed by this record. And if you're not a fan, I would say, don't rush out and get this record. Get Exile on Cold Harbour Lane and kind of work up to this, and it'll all make sense. Alabama 3 are just one of the fucking coolest bands on the planet. They just are, okay? Shut up. They are. They're just one of the coolest bands on the planet. They get no fucking airplay. They're never on the TV. And yet somehow, magic. I'm going to give this cracking little album... What am I giving it? Oh, yeah. 7. Album number 3 from 1978 comes Sham 69's debut effort, Tell Us the Truth. Sham 69 were from Hersham. Is that in London? I don't know. But it was all the whole thing's Cockney, pre-Cockney rejects, and they kind of invented that genre, and they were kind of oi. I mean, that does them a little bit of a disservice, but they were kind of an oi band before. They were the daddies of oi, and this is their first kind of wander out into the world. Now, strangely, for a debut album, I can never say that word. For a debut album, side 1 is live, and side 2 is the studio. Side 2 is a studio album, studio stuff, which is really strange. But I mean, it all sounds okay. You could not move in second-hand record shops in the early 80s for copies of this. For some reason, the second-hand records were plagued. Second-hand record market was plagued with this. There must have been 8 million copies got flooded back. I had it. I listened to it a bit, and I probably fucking dumped it on a second-hand record kind of shop as well. Originally, Oh, this is beautiful. Originally, the band were called Jimmy and the Ferrets. Jimmy and the Ferrets! That's a much better name than Sham 69. I think they should have stuck with that. And Jonathan King showed a lot of interest in them, and you can imagine what that was like. They had 5 top 20 singles, Sham 69. They were actually pretty fucking successful. Fronted by Jimmy Pursey, who I think is a thoroughly nice person. You know, he's passionate, he's honest, he tries his fucking best, and he's got likability. And at this point right now, I'd much rather have fucking Jimmy Pursey than John fucking Lydon at the moment. They were forced to kind of break up in the early 80s, legend has it, because their gigs were so plagued with fucking violence and skinheads and fighting, and no matter what the band or Jimmy said, you couldn't stop these daft bastards battering each other, so they kind of packed it in.
I'm sick of making speeches all the time. Every time I come to a gig, I've got to make a speech about fucking fighting. Every fucking time. Do you know what I think? I don't want to fucking keep saying, stop fighting. Just fucking enjoy yourselves for a change.
And then, of course, they've reformed and all that kind of thing. I think at one point there was 2 versions of Sham 69, then there was 3. Most of it, I think there was 11 versions of Sham 69 going out at one time, but they're back together now with the complete original lineup and still doing gigs, and fucking good luck to them. I know they're a kind of chip shop kinks, but so what? You know, they're out there doing it and people still want to see them. Side 2 of this record, the studio side, is quite amusing. I would call it artistic overreach, possibly on behalf of the band, much as I do care for them. Jimmy's lyrical concerns are absolutely amusing. Jimmy Pursey's lyrically, he's mainly concerned with people not understanding him. I'm not understood, you don't understand, nobody understands. There's a lot of that. All I can say is, Jimmy, possibly need to fucking enunciate more. Also, another of his main concerns is everybody being everybody else. I am you, you are me, we are we, who are you? Nobody understands him, and he doesn't know who he is or who anybody else is, which is a fucking shame. Now, I don't... Good tracks on here, Borstal Breakout, Little Rich Boy's good. I Can Get By is good. As I say, it's all chip shop fodder, but in the nicest possible way. And I have played this record maybe 5 or 6 times in the last few months, and I've really kind of enjoyed it. Good luck to Jimmy Pursey and these guys, and I hope long may they do whatever it is that they're doing. And I'm going to give this a not for everybody 6.
Hey, if you're watching and enjoying this video, please do me a favour and share it around. It's only a click of a button. For Christ's sake, don't make me come down there, eh?
Record number 4 is the debut album from Sky. Record number 4 is the debut record from Sky. Sky. The debut record from Record number 4 is these daft bastards. Now, this is a band, if you're a fan of Sky in any way, shape or form, I say you should skip forward the next few minutes because this is not going to be very pretty. This is my most hated group in the history of the world. I hate them. And I had to sit and listen to this album 3 times just so I could do this. And I was genuinely almost vomiting every time. This came out in 1979. What this band are is a collection of session musicians and kind of classical musicians featuring John Williams, Herbie Flowers, Tristan Fry and Kevin Peake. And they're making a sort of wishy-washy instrumentals, kind of bringing together classical and what they think is rock music. And what you get in the end is a sort of nonsense remnant of Mike Oldfield with all the fucking rage removed, and it's genuinely, the only word I can say for it is pitiful. John Williams was the kind of driving force for that, because he was the most famous member, and he used to sit with his little acoustic guitar while the band would play, and it was kind of him because he'd had a hit with Cavatina. She was beautiful, and I think he's kind of behind them. And I remember them coming out in the late 70s, and they were like a fucking antidote to music. You've got music, and then there's fucking this. Somehow incredibly popular. I don't know who was buying these records. I don't know who was listening to them, but there must have been fucking head injuries involved. They claim that they had a mixed audience going from this is a quote, leather-clad rockers to nuns. I don't fucking believe that for a second. They rumbled on for 6 albums, turning out this absolute fucking wash. What are their reference points for the rock part of this? I can't make any fucking sense of it. They make a lot of claims, Sky, to combine. They were the first people to combine electronic and acoustic music. Don't fucking buy that either. That's a load of fucking shite too. I don't know the reason for this gash to exist. I don't know where it's going or what it's even for. Watching them play, it's like watching a load of fucking geography teachers playing in the common room in some kind of weird confusion that they're actually in a fucking band. This is music for... This is insulting to them. This is like music made by social workers, for social workers, and fucking real ale drinkers. These men would find the Scripter fucking Union barbecue a bit too racy and have to go home at 8 o'clock at night. Absolutely. And that fucking special needs drummer with the enormous fucking drum kit. How amateur are you fucking playing with that stupid fucking thing? They had a huge hit with some Bach piece that they managed to put silly drums on. And I think if Bach found out about it, he'd be drilling a fucking hole right to the centre of the earth. He would be fucking spinning so fast. It is just absolute fucking dreck, and I never ever want to hear it again. I was going to say the band should be burned alive, but I don't mean that. That's going too far. But I think they should take all their records and have a big Sky Records burning party. I would absolutely attend. This is an utterly clueless insult to music. I don't know how I can be any more straight than that. I don't know how to fucking score it. I was going to make up a number called the Zargot, which was the lowest, the highest negative number possible, and make a symbol. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to score it at all. I'm not going to score it. I'm going to give it fucking that. Right, that's it. It's gone. Never fucking have to hear it again. Fantastic. It's out of my life. Sky, nothing. Record number 5 is Revolutionary Corpse of Teenage Jesus with Righteous Light, their LP from 1999. Now, this is a sort of side project of Alan Vega, who you probably know from Suicide. He made a lot of records, and this was just kind of one of them. This was made with a guy called Steve Leroni, who was in Altered Images and is married to Claire Grogan. I might have that right, I might have that wrong. But they turned out this, and I think this is the only record that they did. I think there might have been a Baby Jesus record before, but this is the Revolutionary Corpse of Teenage Jesus, Righteous Light. And I've just got to say, I bought this album off the bat a couple of years ago, and I bought it for 2 reasons. I'd never heard of it. I bought it for that fucking sleeve and that fucking name. If you're going to call a record like that and you're going to put a sleeve like that on it, I'm probably going to fucking buy it, because all that shit flicks my switch. And I hadn't heard it. I knew Alan Vega from Suicide. Suicide, of course, had supported The Clash on one of their American tours, and they spent every night being bottled off the stage by punk rockers because they were doing pretty much breakthrough synthesizer stuff. And this is you know, it's like Suicide Records that I know. It's not a million miles away from it, but I wouldn't say it was actual songs. It's more kind of in your face background music. It's musical pieces with kind of shouting, not, you know, Alan Vega kind of shouting things over the top. In fact, it's a little bit reminiscent of Primal Scream Loaded. You know, when it first starts, it's a little bit. I mean, it's not like it, but it's certainly kind of reminding me of it. And it starts great. You know, the first three sort of pieces, you're like, wow, that's fucking great, and it can stand a bit of volume hearing those kind of early things, and it's all very shouty and Teenage Jesus and Let's Hate the Government, which is all absolutely great. But after that, I wouldn't say it runs out of steam. I would say that I kind of run out of steam. The electronic squelchy sounds and all that. And later on, it gets a little bit faster and a bit more thumpy, and I think it kind of loses its groove. And eventually, it just kind of degenerates into kind of what I would call lazy suicide repetitive workouts. Lazy suicide repetitive workouts. Hello, are you having a lazy suicide repetitive workout? It kind of degenerates into that. But I do like it, and I'm fucking stoked that people are making these things and they're calling them these great names and making these fucking fantastic covers, you know. Even if I don't like it, I'm very glad they're making it. But I do like it. But I did think it's a bit of it's a one-trick pony, which is fine because it's one album. But do you know what? I think this would have made... They could have taken the 4 best tracks out of here and made a really cracking 12-inch. But there you go. I don't think there's quite enough to justify a full album. There's a sort of little bit of desperation towards the end. But, yes, this would have made a really great and strong EP. But as I said, I do like it. I'm glad I own it, even if I never have to listen to it. And I'm going to give it a 7.
I wanna take you to a gay bar. I wanna take you to a gay bar. I wanna take you to a gay bar, gay bar, gay bar.
Our final album for episode 30 this week is Electric Six and their debut. It's a lot of debut albums tonight. Their debut album, Fire. Now, here's the funny thing. I actually do not know hardly anything about Electric Six, apart from the fact that I really fucking like them, and I always have since pretty much almost since I heard them. But yeah, I love them, but I'd never bothered to research them, look into them. I don't know what they look like. I don't know. I've never seen a video. I know next to nothing. I might as well just end it right now, but I'll do my best to talk about something I don't know anything about. They've got 20 studio albums. I know about 6 of them, and I like them all, probably equally. But I thought I would start here. There was 2 hit singles from this, so you probably remember High Voltage and Gay Bar. Interesting side note, it's actually, I think it's true that it's Jack White that's singing on High Voltage, because the band held a competition to get a fan to sing their next kind of single, and he applied. But he was not a star. The White Stripes weren't a thing. I think he was the only one who applied, so it's actually him on it. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's true, but I'd say this is a great kind of rock, metal, punk, disco, garage, funk crossover. It's got all that, but what it's also got is some of the best fucking Les Paul guitar tones. The actual tones of the guitar. I mean, that was a strange thing. What do you mean you fucking tones? What are you on about? The fucking tones of the electric guitars on this album are absolutely fantastic. Fucking amazing guitar throughout. If I could be in one band, you know, I never think like that, but if I could be in a band, I would be in Electric Six. Strange note with this, I had to stop years ago. I had to stop playing this in my car. And I'm not joking here, because when I put it on, I immediately started driving really badly and quite recklessly. And I became aware of that, so I stopped having it on the car, and that's actually true. Another band, never on the TV, never on the radio, don't seem to have, well, not that I see anyway, but seem to kind of, manage. When I first heard it, I was kind of meh, but after the 3rd or 4th play, I was like, meh, really fucking dig it. It's loud, it's irreverent, it's a fucking beast of an album, and it doesn't give a fuck what you think. And I like that. It's not deep. It's not deep. I don't think it's exploring existential themes or anything like that, but great tracks and proper dancing is probably the best track on it, and I fucking love that. Dance Commander, Gay Bar, still fucking great. Yes, it's fucking great, and I'm gonna give it, what am I listening to? Wins the show 9. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it gave you a chuckle and something to think about, perhaps. I'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. I'm planning something quite different. I'll tell you what I'm planning. We're planning on reviewing somebody else's records. So let's see how that goes. Have a great weekend and whatever. Look after yourself and take good care. And I'll see you all soon.